Hey guys, Kevin here, and today I want to make a quick video looking at the various northern houses. Not every house in the books made it to the show, the most notable exception being Lady Barbary Dustin of Bolton, the lover of Ned's older brother, Brandon Stark, who was murdered by the Mad King. In Season 6, there were lords and ladies of 9 northern houses. The first house, of course, is House Stark, which is currently headed by King John, long after his cousin, King Robb Stark, and his uncle, Lord Ned Stark, were murdered. The second house, the Stark's adversaries in Season 6, were...
Your words will disappear. Your house will disappear. Your name will disappear. All memory of you will disappear.
The second house was... their lords were... I don't know. Moving on. In Season 6, the Lord of the Last Hearth is John of House Umber, named Small John to distinguish himself from his father, the Grey John Umber. In the show, Small John hates his father, who died at the Red Wedding. Small John also hates wildlings, and joins... fights against the wildlings and Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards. The Last Hearth is likely to pass to a younger brother, after Small John dies fighting the wildling Tormund Giantsbane. In the books, it is Small John that dies at the Red Wedding, while his father is captured and held prisoner by the Freys. Currently, the Umber forces are fighting on both sides of the Battle of Ice, with one of the Grey John's uncles, Mors Umber or Crowfoot, fighting for Stannis Baratheon, and Hother Umber or Horsebane fighting under Roose, someone else. The fourth house, whose castle is Carhold, was founded by Carlin of House Stark. Their former lord, Rickard Karstark, is named after Ned's father, and fought for King Robb Stark in the War of the Five Kings, until he was beheaded by King Robb after killing innocent Lannister children. Since both of his older brothers died fighting for Robb, Carhold passes to Harold Karstark in the show, and Harrion Karstark in the books, with Rickard's uncle Arnulf becoming Castellan. Lord Harold is present for Roose's death, and fights against Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards. It is unclear if he survived the battle. In the books, Lord Harrion is a prisoner of the Lannisters. His great-uncle, Arnulf, plots to marry his son to Rickard's last remaining child, Alys Karstark. He declares for Stannis in hopes that the Lannisters will kill Lord Harrion in retaliation, and plan to regain their trust by betraying King Stannis Baratheon. The plan falls apart when Lady Alys flees to Castle Black for protection. Lord Commander Jon Snow marries her to the new Magnar of Thenn, thus giving her a wildling army to protect her. Lord Snow then sends a raven to Stannis, whose last words to Arnulf are, "You are dead men. Understand that. Only the manner of your dying remains to be determined. You would be well advised not to waste my time with denials. Confess, and you shall have the same swift end that the young wolf gave Lord Rickard. Lie, and you will burn. Choose." Arnulf's grandsons chose violence. It did not work out well for them. The next house of the north is the Glovers of Deepwood Motte. Theon's sister captures their castle during the Ironborn invasion, and uses it as her seat in the north. In the show, Galbert Glover dies at the Red Wedding, and his brother, Robert, retakes the castle with help from, Anyway, Lord Robert refuses to join Jon Snow after hearing of his wildling allies, but later begs for forgiveness and declares Jon king in the north. In the books, it is Stannis that recaptures Deepwood Motte, and Robert's brother, Lord Galbert, is presumed alive. He does not attend the Red Wedding, as King Robb sends him north to the Neck to seek out his father's best friend after Robb declares Jon Snow his heir. The sixth house of the north is the Mormonts of Bear Island. House Mormont has a strong presence in the series, as King Jon's mentor and predecessor was Lord Commander Jorah Mormont of the Night's Watch, and Queen Daenerys' longest-standing advisor is Jorah's son, the exiled knight Ser Jorah Mormont. Bear Island was won in a wrestling match between the King of the North and an Ironborn king, and the Mormonts are one of only 2 northern houses known to have Valyrian steel swords. Their ancestral sword, Longclaw, is now the blade of the King of the North, who has used it to kill a White Walker. Jon Snow also uses the Mormont shield to defend himself as he retakes Winterfell from some asshole with a bow and arrow. House Mormont is known for its warrior women, and the former lady of Bear Island was Mage Mormont, sister of Jeor and aunt of Ser Jorah. In the show, Mage Mormont dies at the Red Wedding, and her daughter, Lyanna Mormont, takes power. Lady Lyanna is named for Jon Snow's mother. She refused to help both Stannis and Jon take Winterfell, but was persuaded by Ser Davos to help restore House Stark as the Lords of the North. Of course, Lady Lyanna didn't stop there, and was the first Northern Lord to declare Jon Snow king in the North. In the books, Mage Mormont, Lyanna's mother, is presumed alive. Like Lord Glover, King Robb sends her north into the Neck to seek out his father's best friend, and she is aware that Robb declared Jon Snow his heir. In the books, Lady Mage has 5 daughters. Her eldest, Daisy, dies at the Red Wedding. Her heir, Alysanne, eventually joins Stannis after he captures Deepwood Motte. Lyra and Jorel Mormont are with their mother in the Neck, and her youngest daughter, of course, defends Bear Island. The 7th House of the North is the Cerwyns of Castle Cerwyn. Their current lord, Clay Cerwyn, refused the call of Jon and Sansa, even though his father, Lord Medgar Cerwyn, was skinned alive by the last ruler of the North. In the books, Lord Medgar dies at Harrenhal for wounds he received at the battle on the Green Fork, where Tyrion leads the mountain clans in the battle in Season 1. The new lord, Clay Cerwyn, dies when Theon Greyjoy's friend, Reek, gathers an army and betrays the Stark forces outside Winterfell. Reek then reveals himself to be the bastard son of some great lord, sacks Winterfell, and tortures Theon until he thinks his name is Reek. House Cerwyn is now led by Clay's sister, Jonelle Cerwyn. The 8th House of the North is the Manderlys of White Harbor. The Manderlys originate from the Reach, and like the current bannermen of House Tyrell, worship the 7th. They were driven out of the Reach by their rivals, House Peake, and were given lands by the Starks in exchange for fealty. The Manderlys are now the richest house in the North, and control the only city in the North, White Harbor, one of 5 in all of Westeros. Their castle is Newcastle, and their lord, Wyman Manderly, is a fan favorite, largely due to his culinary invention, Frey pie, and his famous The North Remembers speech. In the show, he joins Lady Lyanna Mormont, claiming Jon Snow as king of the North, and gives the king the moniker, the White Wolf. The last house of the North is the house of both Ned Stark and Bran Stark's best friends, House Reed. They rule the Crannogmen, the people who live in the swamps and marshes of the Neck, and have a floating castle called Greywater Watch, which, because it moves, is fairly difficult to find. Their heir, Mira Reed, is the crush of Bran Stark. Her little brother, Jojen Reed, helps Bran learn about his magical abilities, and accompanies him north to the Cave of the Three-Eyed Crow, to his own peril. Their father, Lord Howland Reed, is the only remaining survivor of the Tower of Joy, and witness to Jon Snow's birth. He is also the protagonist of the Night of the Laughing Tree story. So those are the Northern houses. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos. Also, consider becoming a patron. Every dollar helps, and patrons can see videos like this one as soon as I upload them to YouTube. If you would prefer donating through YouTube, there's a donate button on the main page. Even if you can't donate, I still release other videos, like my rewinds, early for everyone on my Patreon page. So it's probably worth a look. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more videos soon.